Today we will learn how to create a datum plane. Then we will go through some of the commands available in NX. These commands include offset command, mirror command, and pattern feature. So open a new file in NX. Units are set to millimeters. We are in modeling environment, and here type your section, your initials, and number 1. Then click OK. Click on Sketch from ribbon, and here select this XY plane as your datum plane. It is selected by default, so you can go ahead and click OK. Profile is selected from the sketching tools by default. Now here I'm going to start this sketch, so start from the right side of the coordinate system. Click here and go upward. Type 25, enter, and for angle 90, enter. Now I'm going to add an arc here. The radius is 5, enter. And now as you move your cursor, you can see this dashed line appears here. Once you see this dashed line, click here and then move the cursor upward, and the direction of the arc will be defined. Now I'm going to add a similar arc here. Type 5, enter, click once, set the direction, and click once more. Now again, select profile from the sketching tools, start from the endpoint, go upward for 5 millimeters, and angle is 90, enter. Five for the length, enter, 90 for the angle, enter. Now go to the left, and here 35 for the length and 180 for the angle. Go upward, 5, enter, enter. Go to the right, 5, enter, enter. Here again I'm going to add an arc, so click arc, start from the end point. The radius is 2.5, enter. Now once this dashed line appears here, click here, move the cursor to right, and click once more. Select a profile from the sketching tools. Start from the end point, 5, enter, enter. Go upward, 5, enter, enter. Go to the right, 35, enter, enter. And now close the sketch. Press escape 2 times. And now the sketch is closed. I'm going to add 2 more circles here. Click on circle from the sketching toolbar. Click on this center of the arc and move the cursor, type 5 for the diameter, enter. Move the cursor down and a preview of the circle is attached to the cursor. Click once more once you snap to the to the center of the arc, the bottom arc. Click on Finish. Before Finish, press Escape to go out of circle. And now I'm going to fillet these 4 corners. So click on Fillet from the sketching tools. Now for the radius, type 2, enter, and now select these 4 corners. Press Escape. Now the geometry is complete. You can hide these dimensions if you want, or you can leave it like it is and then click Finish from the ribbon. Now I'm going to extrude this geometry. Click on Extrude. The curve is already selected, the vector is selected. It will extrude it in Z direction. The end distance type 5 mm. Boolean invert is OK, and then apply. Close the dialog box. And now we have this 3D body. And I'm now going to add a datum plane to this model. So here from the ribbon, the left, on the upper left corner, you can select datum plane. Now this dialog box is asking for your how you're going to add the datum plane. So you have different options here. I would select at angle. And now you need to select a face. So once this command is active, select the front face. And now the select linear object is active. Once this is active, you can select this edge here. And then for the angle, I would type 45 degree. And now you can see the preview of the datum plane here. Once you apply, the datum plane is created here. This datum plane will allow you to sketch new geometry and add and unite your geometry with this 3D model. So I would select the sketch from the ribbon and then select this datum plane. Click OK. Now we are back to the graphics environment. I'm going to draw a new geometry here. So select profile is selected. I will start from this edge. So this length should be 15. Enter, enter. Go upward. This length should be 17. Enter, enter. Press Escape. Before continuing, I'm going to add some constraints. So we need to make sure that this line and this line are collinear. Now they're collinear. And now I'm going to add an arc here. So select arc from the sketching tools. Start from the end point. The radius is 7.5. Enter. Once this dashed line appears here, click here. Move your cursor up. Click once more. Again, select line from sketching tools and close the sketch. Press Escape. dimensions are turned to red, you need to convert one of them to reference. Press OK. If it is still red, convert more dimensions to reference, and now we are ready to finish our sketch. Click Finish from the ribbon. This time I'm going to extrude the new geometry. Click on Extrude, and for Extrude dialog box, the curve is already selected, the vector is selected, just you need to reverse this vector. For the Boolean command, select Unite. You're going to unite this part with the previous part. For the end value, select Through All. And now apply. Close the dialog box, and these two parts are united. I'm going to sketch another shape here on this face. Press OK. I'm going to add a circle here. Click on this center of the arc, and for diameter, type 7.5. Click on Finish. This time I'm going to cut out this circle from this body, Extrude. The curve is already selected. The vector is selected. You need to reverse it. Here I would select Subtract instead of Unite. And for end value, I would select Through All. Then apply. Now the 3D model is created. So this is how we create Datum planes. As you can see, there are different options to add these Datum planes. You can use at distance, bisector, tangent, and so on. So that being said, I'm going to finish this exercise. Open a new file. This time units are still millimeters. Here type mirror. And then OK. Click on Sketch. This time select XC as your datum plane. Press OK. Now start a circle from the origin of the coordinate system. The diameter is 100. Enter. And now finish the sketch. I'm going to extrude this shape. So here, for the end value, select symmetric value, and here type 50. So this will extrude this geometry for 50 millimeters from both sides. Apply and close the dialog box. Now I'm going to add another body to this one, so click on Sketch, select the front face, OK. Now add a rectangle on top of this circle. So the dimensions for this rectangle is 100, 100. Enter, enter. Click once more. Press escape. Again, finish from the ribbon. This time I'm going to extrude the rectangle for 20 millimeters. So here I need to reverse the direction and then apply. Here invert is okay, but it's better to select unite and then apply. Now I'm going to create a cutout. So click on sketch, select the front face, OK, select the circle, click on the center of the circle, and here type 80 for the diameter, then click on finish. Click on extrude, reverse the vector if needed. For the Boolean command, select subtract, and here for the end value, select to all. And this will cut out this cylinder from the body. Close the dialog box. Now I'm going to blend these two edges. So edge blend, type 5 millimeter for the radius, and then select these two edges. Apply and close the dialog box. Now I'm going to mirror this feature. So for mirroring a feature, you need to first select the feature and then the reference plane that you're going to mirror the feature about that reference plane, and then click apply. So here from the base group, select pattern, select mirror feature. In the dialog box, first it is asking for the feature, so I want the whole rectangle to be mirrored, so I would select the whole rectangle. For the plane, once the plane, select plane command is active, I would move my cursor over this coordinate system until the DXC plane is selected. Click on that, and here you can see a preview of your feature. After you click apply, this feature will be mirrored with respect to this DXC plane. And now if you rotate the body, you can see that this DXC plane is just in the middle of this 3D body. Now I'm going to mirror another feature. So you can see that this edge blend is not mirrored. So this time select this feature for the plane. Once it is active, select this DXC plane again and then apply. Close the dialog box. So this edge blend is also mirrored. Now whatever change that you apply to this feature will be updated in the mirrored feature. So for example, if you go to edge blend, double click on that. Here if you change the radius to 25 millimeter, okay, you can see that this change in edge blend is also updated in the mirrored feature here. So this is how mirror feature command works. Next command is pattern feature. So I would open a new file. Here for the name you can type pattern. Linear. Click on OK. Click on sketch. XY plane is selected by default. Press OK and create a rectangle here. You can start from the origin of the coordinate system. Type 300, enter. 200 for the height, enter. Click once more and finish sketch. Extrude this geometry for 10 millimeters and close the dialog box. Now I'm going to create a simple hole in this corner. So click on hole, general hole, here simple hole. For the hole diameter I would select 10 millimeters, and now this activated command is asking for the point. So I would select this face and this point here. Now here, if you close this dialog box, you can add the dimensions 15 millimeters and 15 millimeters. Close the dialog box. Click finish from the ribbon. In direction section, for the specify vector command, select this invert vector, and here you can select this z-axis and then reverse the direction, because you want the direction of the hole to be in negative z direction, and then apply. Close the dialog box. The hole is created here. Now I'm going to use the pattern feature command to create some simple holes throughout this face. So once the pattern feature command dialog box is open, first you need to select the feature that you want to pattern. So select this hole, make sure that the entire hole is selected, not just the top face. So click here. From the layout, we have different layout for patterning features. We have linear, circular, polygon, spiral, oblong, general, reference, helical. So here select linear. We have direction 1. For direction 1, you need to specify the vector, activate this command and select this front top edge here. You need to reverse the direction if it is towards you. For the spacing, select count and span. So the count is 2. We are going. So for the count, select count and span. For the count, I'm going to select 10. I'm going to pattern this simple hole for 10 times along this axis. And then for span distance, I would select So here it's better to select count and pitch instead of count and span. The number of holes would be 10. The pitch distance would be 3 millimeters. So here 30 millimeters. Type 30, and then I'm going to, so if direction 2 is not checked, put a check mark here, and then you need to specify the vector. This time select this top edge from the side face. Again, you need to reverse the direction. For this direction, I would select count and span. The number would be 5. I'm going to pattern this feature for 5 times. And for span distance, I would type 170. Here in the 3D model, you can see a preview of the pattern feature along the entire body. Now that both directions are specified, then the count and span or pitch distance are specified, you can click apply. And now you have this feature pattern throughout the entire body. Now I'm going to review circular pattern. So here type circular pattern. Click on OK. Sketch, XY plane, press OK. This time I'm going to draw a circle. Type 300 as your diameter. And now I'm going to add another circle in the middle. And for this one, type 20 for diameter, enter. Finish the sketch. And again, extrude the geometry for 5 millimeters. Apply. Close the dialog box. Now I'm going to create a simple hole on this face. Click on hole. The diameter is 10. Form a simple. Specify the point close to the center of the body. Now zoom in to be able to specify the dimensions. Close the dialog box. Double click on dimensions. This one I want it to be 15. Enter. And this one also 15. Close the dialog box and finish. This simple hole with 10 millimeter diameter will be, the position is specified, the direction is specified. You can see a preview of the hole and then apply. Close the dialog box and your hole is here. I'm going to pattern this feature, so again pattern feature from the ribbon. This command select feature is activated select the feature. For the layout, select circular. Activate a specified vector, and now for this vector you need to select an axis that your feature will be patterned about that axis. So I would select this z-axis, and for the point you can select, once this specified point is activated, you can select the origin. Now in this section it is asking for the angular direction. So for this one I would select count and pitch. For the number of pattern I would type 9, and for pitch angle I would select 40. You can see a preview of the simple hole, which will be patterned about the center of the body. Now, if you change it to count and span, it will change, and then count is still 9. The span angle is the entire span that you are going to create the features. If you change it to pitch and span, it will give you the angle between two of these features and the entire span angle, which is 360. So there's no difference between them. You can specify different numbers here. And here, if you apply, you can see that the simple hole will be patterned about z-axis throughout the body. Now if you close this dialog box, again double click on pattern feature from part navigator. Here you can select create concentric members. So check this one. And now here you can specify the number. So for example, I could type 4 here, and pitch distance I would change it to 20 millimeter. Once you change the dimensions here, you can see how the preview of the feature will change in the graphic window. So for example, if you type 25, the distance will be increased. Now click on OK, and the feature will be patterned concentric with a concentric layout. So this is how we use linear and circular pattern to save our time. Now I'm going to start the last exercise for this session. Set units as millimeters, and here type your section, your initials, and number 2. Click OK. Click on Sketch, select DXC Plane, OK. And now I'm going to draw a rectangle. 130 is the width, enter. 50 is the height, enter. Now before continuing, I would like to make sure that this coordinate system is in the middle of my geometry. So press Escape, select the origin, and then this midpoint here, and make them vertically aligned. The same for the midpoint here and the origin. They should be this one is horizontally aligned and this one is vertically aligned. Now click on Finish. Extrude this geometry for 40 millimeters and change it to symmetric value, then Apply. Now I'm going to sketch another shape on top surface. Zoom in to have a better view. Click on Rectangle, start from the corner. 25 for the width and 30 for the height. Enter, click once more and finish. Here I'm going to create a cutout with this rectangle. Click on Extrude. The curve is selected by default. You need to reverse the direction. For the Boolean command, select Subtract. And for the limit, for the depth of this cutout, type 30 millimeter and then Apply. Now I'm going to add a counterbore hole on this face. So click on Hole. Select the form as counterbore. And for the dimensions, for counterbore diameter, type 18 millimeter. For the counterbore depth, type 3 millimeter. And for hole diameter, type 8 millimeter. Now this command is asking for the point, so you need to specify the point on this face. Click here. Now you can specify dimensions. Close this dialog box and double click on the dimensions. This one should be 12. Enter. And this one should be 15. Enter. Close the dialog box and finish the sketch. Now you need to specify the vector. So if you select this inferred direction, you can select this z-axis. A preview of the counterbore hole is visible here, so you can apply. And close the dialog box. This time I'm going to pattern this feature, both this cutout and this counterbore hole. So if you click on Pattern feature, select the feature. So the feature is the cutout, so make sure that the cutout is selected. For the vector, specify vector. So make sure layout is linear. And now for direction 1, you can select, you can specify your vector. I will select this top edge here, reverse the direction if needed. I want the number to be 2. For the pitch distance, I will type 100. So instead of count and pitch, select count and span. And here for direction 2, once this specify vector is active, select this top edge. For the count, type 2, and for span distance, type 55. So count and span, number of count is 2, span distance is 100. For direction 2, count and span numbers 2, span distance is 55 mm. And you can see a preview of the feature created on the model. So you can go ahead and click apply and close the dialog box. So the cutout is created with this pattern. This time I'm going to pattern the counterboard hole. Click on pattern feature, select the feature, make sure that the entire hole is selected. Layout is again linear. For layout this time I'm going to use reference. So your feature is the hole, the pattern, activate this command and then move your cursor until these faces are highlighted. Click here, select base instance handle. So now you need to select this dot on top of this feature. And now the preview will be visible here on the model. Click apply. Close the dialog box. Now you can see that the counterboard hole is patterned for 3 times on the entire body. This time I'm going to add a threaded hole. So click on hole. From the, instead of general hole, select this threaded hole. Make sure you select this information for the threaded hole. And then you need to specify the point. Click on this face. Now here, close this dialog box and specify dimensions as 15 and 15 millimeter. Close the dialog box and finish. Click apply, close the dialog box, and the threaded hole is created on this face. Now I'm going to use the mirror feature to mirror this hole on the other side of the body. Click on mirror feature, select the threaded hole, activate select plane, and this time you need to select this YZ plane as your reference plane. Apply and close the dialog box. Now you can see that the threaded hole is mirrored using this YZ plane. Click on sketch from the ribbon and select the front face. OK. This time I'm going to draw, once profile is activated, I will start here. Press escape. Now I'm going to specify dimensions. Double click on dimensions. This one should be 50 millimeter. Close the dialog box. Click on rapid dimensioning. Now I'm going to make sure that this distance is 3.3 millimeter. Close the dialog box. And another dimension, click on rapid dimensioning, select these 2 points, click once more here, this dimension should be 8, enter. And now close the dialog box, Now I'm going to apply alignment constraint. Select these midpoints and make them aligned. So now everything is fine with this sketch. Click on finish and make a cutout using this geometry. Click on extrude, reverse the direction if needed. For the end value, select through all, and boolean should be subtract. So press apply. Close the dialog box. Now I'm going to create another counterboard hole here. Click on hold. Change it to general hole, counterboard. So the dimensions for counterboard diameter, type 50. For the depth of the counterboard, type 15. And for hole diameter, type 40. Now you need to specify points. Select this midpoint on this front edge. For specify vector, click on this invert. Now you can select this y-axis. And a preview of the counterboard hole is visible here. So, and if you change these dimensions here, for example, counterboard depth, if you type 25, you can see how the depth of your counterboard hole will change. So again, I would change it to 15. Now press apply. Close the dialog box. So the last feature that I'm going to apply is the edge blend, type 2, for the radius of the blend. And then here you need to make sure that this allow selection of hidden wireframe is active. If you don't have this icon on top of your graphic drawing, your graphic window, you need to make sure to select it here. So from selection group, this allows section of hidden wireframe. Make sure that there is a check mark next to this icon. So once this icon is activated, I would be able to select all the edges. Select these edges to add the blend. Again, I will start over. Edge blend. Then apply. Here it should be 2 millimeter, but it looks like it was 5 millimeter. So you can double click on edge blend from the part navigator to modify this. If you type 2 here and then OK, it will correct this error for you. So the 3D model is complete, and that's it for this session.